I'll be joined later by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. We'll start with what's happening around us. As revealed in the papers today, oil pipeline in Museveni invites more partners. It's in today's New Vision. And about yesterday's celebrations of the independence. Yesterday, Uganda made 60 years of independence and lead East African Community Agenda. Ruto asks Museveni. The President of the Republic of Kenya has asked the President of Uganda to lead the East African Community Agenda. Here they bring you President Yoweri Museveni and his counterpart of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, chatting during Uganda's 60th Independence Day celebrations at Kololo Independence Grounds yesterday. Well, happy Independence Day once again to Uganda. And also in today's New Vision, they bring you the Karamoja Cry, Makerere, to work with Pastor Robert Kayanja. Stricken communities in Karamoja. Pastor Robert Kayanja, renowned evangelist, was addressing hundreds during a breakfast meeting at Makerere University's Freedom Square, organized by the Miracle Center Cathedral, a day after the institution celebrated 100 years of existence. Well, the details are in today's New Vision on page 8. They bring you Pastor Jessica Kayanja, Sikola Suruma, Makerere University Chancellor Professor Ezra Suluma, Professor Nawangwe, and his wife Susan, who were in attendance of the breakfast, the prayer breakfast at the Makerere Constitution Freedom Square on Thursday. They bring the details, and these include what Professor Ezra Suluma said about the Karamoja Cry. They vowed to join Pastor Robert Kayanja in fighting the situation in Karamoja. We also call upon you to join us here at the Miracle Center Cathedral by sowing your seed. The situation was really bad, but now is getting better, though the need is still great. Please join us as we deliver food relief and a very necessary aid to the people of Karamoja. What was once Karamoja Cry is now Karamoja Joy, is now Karamoja Smiles. So be part of this transforming, life-transforming move. Moving on, still in the New Vision today, teachers load Huawei Vision's newspaper in education program. They also bring you interviews. The First Lady hails Makerere University, and also 700 families face eviction in Chitagwenda district. It's all in today's New Vision. In today's New Vision, there are 160 job opportunities openings in Uganda Episcopal Conference, Silver Springs Hotel, Schlamberger, SNOOC, Sinopec, Youth Alive, Tata, and many other factories where there are job opportunities. Get yourself a copy and you'll be able to see where you can apply, and you may not know it can be necessary and good for you. Off to the Daily Monitor. Museveni stings West at Independence Fete. President Museveni, while casting himself as a nationalist and Pan-Africanist at the Diamond Jubilee celebration, says he will go ahead with a Vinci coffee deal, which was terminated by Parliament in May. He dared all those that opposed it. This was yesterday at the Independence Day celebrations. They bring you President Museveni as he inspected the parade as the country marked the 60th independence anniversary in Kololo, Kampala yesterday. And they also bring you details of what happened yesterday. Kenya's Ruto rallies for borderless region. Rwanda pledges to support the East African community unity. And then also Somalia thanks Uganda for terrorism fight. Salva Kiir, who is the president of South Sudan, calls for end of poverty and ignorance. All these presidents were in attendance yesterday at the independence the celebrations. And also, still in the Daily Monitor today, the Ministry of Health has blocked Uganda Virus Research Institute from overseeing the testing of Ebola virus, according to the Daily Monitor. They also bring you Health Living, bringing help to children affected by cerebral palsy. Do you have a child that is facing cerebral palsy? Get yourself a copy of the the Daily Monitor and see how you can get help to your child. And then also, UNEB issues roadmap for UCE exams. Uganda National Examination Board is slated to conduct briefing of security officers who will guard the exams on October the 12th. That is when they will begin their UCE exams here in Uganda. Well, right now, because of time, allow us go straight into today's international news. We'll start with what's happening in Africa. Police in the Gambia are investigating the deaths of 65 children, which have been linked to 4 brands of imported Indian cough syrup. Senior officials from the Medicine Control Agency and the importers have been called for questioning, according to the President's office. President Adama Barrow said the authorities would leave no stone unturned in the investigations. Gambians who are angry about what happened are wondering who is to blame. On Wednesday, the World Health Organization issued a global alert over the 4 cough syrups, warning they could be linked to acute kidney injuries and children's death in July, August, and September. Bereaved parents have told the press how their children stopped being able to pass urine after being given the syrups. As condition worsens, efforts to save their lives were fruitless. Moving on, at least 76 people have been reported dead after a boat accident in Nigeria's southeastern state of Anambra. The boat, which was carrying at least 80 people, capsized on Friday in the Ogbaru area in Anambra state. Most of the victims were women and children trying to reach safety after their community had been inundated by floodwater. President Muhammadu Buhari offered his condolences to the families of the victims in the tragic accident. He also ordered a review of safety measures across the country's water transport system and said emergency services must do everything to account for those missing. And over to Europe, Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused Ukraine of attacking the bridge to Russian-annexed Crimea, saying that it was an act of terrorism. President Putin said Ukraine's intelligence forces had aimed to destroy a critically important piece of Russia's civil infrastructure. He was speaking at a meeting with the head of Investigative Committee of Russia, Alexander Bastrikin. Officials say 3 people were killed in the blast on the bridge. The victims were in a nearby car when a lorry blew up, according to Russian officials. And still about the Russian-Ukrainian war, at least 13 people have been killed by Russian missile strikes on the southeastern city of Zaporizhia, according to Ukraine officials. Dozens were wounded and several residential buildings destroyed. The city is under Ukrainian control, but is part of a region that Russia says it annexed last month. Zaporizhia has been hit repeatedly in recent weeks as Russia hits back at urban areas after suffering defeats in the south and northeast of Ukraine. Parts of the Zaporizhia region, including its nuclear power plant, which is around 52 kilometers, 30 miles from the city, have been under Russian control since early in the invasion. And in Poland, 3 people have died after a wooden tourist boat capsized in the northern Polish city of Gdansk. Officials said the boat most likely turned over due to waves generated by a nearby tugboat. 14 people, including 2 crew members, were on board when the Gala Gdansk supply capsized on the Motlawa River on Saturday. The state fire services said 3 people were pulled from the water and attempts were made to resuscitate them. A 60-year-old man was pronounced dead at the scene and 2 others later died in hospital. And in Germany, their foreign minister has called for action against those responsible for the violent crackdown on protests in Iran. Annalena Baerbock said Germany would ensure the European Union froze assets and imposed entry bans. She described those who beat up women and girls on the street as standing on the wrong side of history. EU foreign ministers are expected to decide on sanctions on the 7th of October, according to Reuters news agency. Speaking to a German newspaper, Baerbock also criticized those who condemned to death people who want nothing other than to live free. And also, deadly landslides have swept away homes in Venezuela's large Las Tejerías city south of the capital, Caracas. At least 22 people have been reported dead and a further 52 are missing after the torrential rainfall caused by La Nina weather pattern. Vice President Delcy Rodriguez visited one of the worst affected areas on Sunday, according to rescue services, which are working to find those still missing. President Nicolas Maduro described the situation as difficult and painful. Well, that brings us to the end of this morning's news update. I thank you for watching Channel 44. I remind you of the Karamoja cry. We are still sending relief to the people of Karamoja. So far, what has been done has been really good, and the people are now having smiles on their faces thanks to the people that have sowed their seeds, and to the Robert Kayanja Ministries for helping the people in Karamoja. Well, the need is still great as we are plowing, we are planting and producing for the people of Karamoja. So far, we have plowed their land. We are now planting so that they will have a permanent solution to the situation in their region. Join us once again as we deliver this aid to the people of Karamoja by sending your seed to the numbers that will be availed during the services. Or you can bring it here at the Miracle Center Cathedral. We are having revival services every evening. So come and hand over your seat to the pastor. You will be tremendously blessed. I remain Masiga Shegu Sembatia. We'll meet again at 12:45 with fresh news in brief, especially from the international scene. The Pastors Now program is coming on. Stay tuned to Channel 44. Good morning.